Davis and Louise Turpin had lived in a home in Fort Worth, Texas from around 1999 to 2010 before leaving it suddenly and moving to Murrieta, California. Nellie Baldwin, a former neighbor who later bought the home, told the Mercury News. The couple apparently lived in that home for a few years but trashed it so badly, leaving feces on the walls, a rotting bathroom floor, knocked-in doors and trash strewn everywhere, that they had to move into a trailer home on the 36-acre property. And in 2010, the end of roughly 6 or 7 years they lived in the trailer, one of the children allegedly tried to escape and find help. She said one of the daughters went walking down the road but didn't get too far when a neighbor spotted her and took her home. All of a sudden they just disappeared, the 78-year-old said. No one ever saw them again. She said that, before taking her home, the daughter told the neighbor to take her to a telephone. Baldwin said she isn't sure where the neighbor took her but thinks the girl called 911. It wasn't until about a few days later that they left. She told Mercury News.They they just disappeared. He didn't make any more payments on that place or anything. The Turpins are currently facing 75 felony charges, including torture, imprisonment, and cruelty towards their children in Riverside County, California after their 17-year-old daughter escaped through a window and called 911 on Sunday, January 14. Riverside County Sheriff's deputies then rescued her siblings and arrested the parents, who have pleaded not guilty to charges of mistreating their children, aged 2 to 29. Baldwin's son, Billy Baldwin, and his mother bought the property in 2011, about 7 months after the mortgage company foreclosed on the abandoned property. When they were in the process of purchasing it, he said neighbors told them a young girl had escaped the trailer and asked the neighbor who picked her up a lot of questions. Neighbors said they think the Turpnis left because they thought authorities would come to check up on the home, Billy told Mercury News. Though they lived nearby for the 10 or 11 years the Turpins lived on the property, Baldwin said she never met the couple. Nobody around there had anything to do with them because they were loners, she said. Billy said neighbors told them the prior owners were strange when they bought the house. He said people told them they homeschool their kids and don't let them out. While the Turpins were at the Hill County Road property, deputies were called to the house twice. They were first called in 2001 when a 4-year-old child was bitten in the face by a dog and needed stitches. That dog didn't have a rabies vaccination and had to be put down, Chief Deputy Rick White said. 2 years later police were called again because the family's pigs got out and ate 55 pounds of dog food at a neighboring property, White said. Riverside County District Attorney said the neglect and abuse of the 13 children began while the family was living in the Fort Worth area. At one point the parents even lived in a different home than most of their children, dropping off food for them on occasion. Before moving into the double-wide mobile home on the middle of the property, the Turpins lived in a 2,300-square-foot home on the property. And the Baldwins claim the home was left in complete squalor. They say they found scratch marks on the back of doors and that the carpet was covered in disgusting dirt stains and filth and think closets may have been used as rooms to lock up the children. Nellie Baldwin said the mortgage company or realtors brought 2 dumpsters to haul trash from the mobile home and then took the trailer from the property. She also said a neighbor said he saw a dead cat on the trailer's stove. Baldwin said she and her son poured gallons of bleach on the floor of the house to kill the nasty smell and said she scrubbed the kitchen cabinets countless times. Billy Baldwin said squatters never lived in the house after it was abandoned. The Baldwins, who now rent the house, also said after moving in they found Polaroid pictures someone had left behind that showed kitchen counters and floors covered with trash and a garbage-filled room that had desks lined up like in a classroom. And in one photo, rope can be seen tied to a bed's metal railing. The Turpins are thought to have tied children to beds with rope initially, before eventually upgrading to chains with padlocks, according to prosecutors. Baldwin also told WFAA that she found unusual vents in the master bedroom closet when she moved in after the Turpins left in 2010. "There are 2 vents in the closet, and they are covered up now," she said. She believes the couple's children may have been locked in there. Neighbors have also revealed the children were not allowed to tell people their names and described the home in Rio Vista as a religious compound. Before the Turpin family moved to the 36-acre property in Rio Vista, they lived in another home from around 1992-1999 in Fort Worth, which was left in a similar squalor. The owners of that home, who didn't want to be identified, say they found scratch marks on the back of doors and that the carpet was covered in disgusting dirt stains and filth. In 2010, the Turpins moved to California. Louise gave birth to at least one child, who is now aged 2, after the move. Details of their harrowing plight have started to emerge since the California couple pleaded not guilty last Thursday to nearly 40 counts including torture, false imprisonment, abuse on a dependent, and child abuse. David faces an additional charge of a lewd act on a child under 14. They denied the charges despite evidence showing how they kept their 13 children locked in their rooms, chained to beds, and allowing them to shower no more than once a year. The Turpins also starved their children. Their 29-year-old daughter weighed just 82 pounds and taunted them with slices of pie. Among the most shocking claims of abuse are cadaver dogs are being sent into the home to look for the bodies of any children who did not survive the ordeal, and DNA tests are being conducted to determine if any of the children have died and are buried in David and Louise's house of horrors, according to a new report.